Okay, so this is off BlackRock. Now, BlackRock is not in my um, F15, but I've started to kind of look at it because I know it's in a lot of people's F15, and I think it might have been in my F15 before, and so I have to consider maybe I'll add it this fall or this September when I get started again. I don't know, but this is off the close, the second candle on 6/23/2025. You can see right here. If you were to look at this now for straight line information, this is kind of like, I don't know, maybe this isn't actually any good. Now, it's not crossing, it's not strictly crossing, but it's moving up and it's kind of crossing, it's kind of laminated on top of each other. The MACD is definitely crossing, and that didn't cross and then uncross, or yeah, uncrossed and then, I don't know, it's just laminated and going parallel. It's actually, it, so you could say you have two out of four. If you come over here to the 144 chart, on that candle, we have stock RSI. I would say we have Christmas cross. We have stock RSI, I would say, and the directional movement. This is not so. So if you have 204, you can go down to 144 and check to see if you have 304 on the current or the previous candle, and we did. So I think you could say this is the straight line information up for BlackRock. Now let's just run through the major indices. We'll go to the Dow. So that looks like it's straight line up basically. And then if you actually go to the daily, we have Christmas cross stock RSI very close. That one, I guess it actually fired, so that would count. That would definitely be good on the 233 and the daily. Let's go to the comp, see what it does. Yeah, basically the same. Yeah, that's 304 right here. We have one. So not as much evidence on the daily. We'll run through to S&P. Yeah, pretty good. The, the Wilshire 5,000. Yeah, for the 233, we have straight line up, and we have one. We're cocked, so not. It's still good, but it's not straight line up. And we'll go to the Russell. So that's one, two, three, one, two, yeah, whatever. So the markets are doing well on that one. So let's look at we'll go back to BlackRock, and we will kind of see, we're here on the weekly. It's just been going for the last like six or seven, yeah, like seven candles, basically been going sideways. Let's turn off those. If only there were just a way to turn off that's just really, really sideways. Just following the 34 up, just following it above that. Yeah. If I turn off the noise, then it hides a lot more. Yeah, does all gets rid of so much more, so it's not too helpful. So let's turn back these candles. Right here, we're going sideways along the 30, along the 55, and this is like pretty sideways, just kind of bebopping around between, kind of halfway between, basic whatever you want to say, 144 or the 21, just kind of hanging around, not really going anywhere for like a while. And actually, if you were to come back here, all the way back here, that's not a difference of even back to here. That's just not a big move. That's like really sideways for like basically a month, just kind of hanging around waiting for action. Um, what is interesting, I guess, is that this isn't like, you look at where these are. This is just in the noise. This isn't particularly low. I mean, it's pretty low. It's just started coming up, but this is like right around, closer to 50 than it is to 20. And this isn't even near the Bollinger Bands, but it did on this candle to cross above the 21. So it's already broken through that resistance line there. And on both the 233 and the daily. And let me fix that. And if you look at the 3-day and the weekly, the only resistance above that is top Bollinger Band, which is like points, 60 points higher here, and here it's what, 50. So that's pretty good. So it's just going sideways. So I think you could say, as far as like, is this a trade? Would this likely be a white? I think you could easily call a white. I don't know if you'd have a huge amount of confidence, but I think a white would be, yeah, you could definitely call a white. I wonder if if you'd also do a hedge on this one. Let's call the 3-day. I mean, we're on the 55. That's basically one right here. We're crossing. That's three, and we're above the 21. I think you can count that. So you could easily call this a trade. Now I'm just going to bump forward on the daily and be watching over here on the 233. Starts at 986. Um, so I always think about how would I enter that trade. So the next trade, it opened on. So if I come over here to the 144, actually I'm going to take a peek at the 55. Pull the 55 down here, or 34 actually, because that tells you what happened right after the open. Boom, right there. So it opened at 995 and closed at 998. So in that 30 minutes, it had gapped up, but it only moved three more. Actually, it moved down a little bit and up higher, but it closed only 3 points higher. So on this one, it was at, what was it, 986, and on the next candle, it was, I guess it's a gap up of 9, so it's like 1%. It's not a giant, it's not a like a huge gap, but it's a good gap. Okay, so that's my question. Would I have entered that trade? And that would have altered my the calculated strike price I would have purchased, I suppose. Actually, haven't really heard how we do that. It's a question to ask Gary of, like, when a trade moves up or down, how do you adjust your maybe I would just do the same, because maybe I would have said, well, I think it's gonna go up to 130 or something like, or 1030 or something like that. So maybe you just keep the same. Anyway, let's just keep going. I'm gonna come back to this one, and then boom, 986. We'll go another one. So it went up 986, went up 18 points, went up 14 points, went up 12 points, um, almost 18 points or 17 points sideways. Makes sense. It would finally go sideways. If you look at these indicators, sort of like pegged basically. This is way up. This red line is moving down. We do have continuation still. I would call that continuation. We have continuation here. This hasn't reached 80 yet. I think it still would easily have another candle. But I mean, I'm recording this on 7/11, so, or I guess, yeah, it just went past midnight, so I would know that it's going to keep going. Little sideways action, very expected. Let me jump back. Okay, so who knows what options I would have purchased? Maybe first week of July, like July 4th. I guess those would be July 3rd options. Maybe I would do July 11th, which would be today, basically. Let's keep going. So July So if they expired on the 3rd, because the 4th is a holiday, of course, I'd need to be out on Tuesday at noon, I believe, on the 1st. So that's right here, 1054 to go from, let's just say, whatever that was, right? Well, I can't remember, you know, around whatever, that's like 60 points. And on those options, that would have been huge. But the price kept going because it is the 11th and it hasn't stopped really. Boom, 10th all the way up to here. So I'm trying to see how would I, let's move this back up here, get it out of the way. How would I see that? How would I see that trade? Now it's tempting to just look at, well, this is already above the 21, so maybe it's only going to go down, but there is room above this to go. And of course, Bollinger Bands expand and they change directions probably quicker than moving average lines. And so it's kind of helpful to think, hey, this could be moving down in the future, but it's not up here. There's still room to go. There's still room on that the rope on that elephant, or however you want to think about it. There's definitely room to go up, and especially when you look at, there we go, already being above the 21, already being above the 21 right here. I want to be able to see these trades because these are, I mean, I would think they're probably the easiest to trade. Like you just see these Bollinger Bands from that purple line there, dashed line on the 3-day. We're moving up. We're expanding. That Bollinger Band is expanding. It expanded from here to up here, from 1047 to the 1105. So that's a big expansion. So maybe look at these every once in a while and see what I can learn.